Why do some people grow up confident while other people struggle with self-worth? The difference might come down to whether or not key emotional needs were met in their childhood. And many adults still struggle with this today. So in this video, we're going to talk about 10 core emotional needs. We're going to look at it in two ways. We're going to look at you, and you can determine how these needs impacted you during childhood into adulthood. And then we're going to talk about some ways that you can apply these to your kids, even if your needs were unmet. Before we continue, I have with me a little burrito, because I promise you, at least 4 times now, I will give him everything that he needs. I'll put him to sleep, and I'll lay him down. And as soon as I come down here to push a button, where? So he's in the video now. As we explore these, I want you to ask yourself one key question. Did I receive this growing up? Now let's start with number 10. Number 10 is respect. Respect is simply being treated like your voice matters. So it's listening and not dismissing. So imagine a child trying to explain something important, and then the adult is just like, you don't know what you're talking about. You just a kid. Over time, that kid develops a very dangerous belief, and that's what I say doesn't matter. Maybe what I do is going to matter more. Now, the consequence, if respect is not given to a kid, they become adults who are resentful. They adopt a they got what they deserve mindset. If they ever feel ignored or unheard, they'll say, well, I told them. And so they justify their behavior, all because they felt unheard or ignored. But when we as fathers listen seriously to our kids, even when we disagree with them, it communicates to them that what you say matters to me. In Romans chapter 12, verse 10, it says, be kindly affectionate to one another with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another. Notice what it doesn't say. It doesn't say, but only practice this if the person meets a certain age requirement. Respect teaches children that their thoughts have value. But something else makes that value hit even harder. And that is number 9, appreciation. Appreciation is simply being noticed and valued for your attitude, your effort, your contribution. It's simply saying things to your kids like, thank you. Hey, thank you for helping me. Or I noticed how hard you tried just now. This builds confidence and self-worth by communicating to the kid that what they do matters to me. And when they don't feel appreciation as kids, they grow up into adults who develop people-pleasing tendencies. They become highly self-critical and they struggle to accept compliments. You might know some people like this. You might be one of them. We're reminded in Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, it says, finally, brothers, whatever things are true, whatever things are honest, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever is lovely, whatever things of good report, if there be any virtue or any praise, think on these things. So when we follow this, we can easily find ways to show appreciation to other people. Respect and appreciation are powerful, but they don't mean very much if someone disappears when life gets hard. Number 8 is support. This is simply showing up when a child needs presence or help, not fixing or controlling everything, just showing up. A father can demonstrate this by simply sitting in the stands at a game, or helping with homework, or standing beside the kid when they're struggling with something. It communicates to the kid, you don't have to face this alone. If the kid does not receive support, they grow up to become adults who are hyper independent. They reject teamwork and they prefer doing everything by themselves. They make excuses even for why they do everything by themselves. Now, God, who is the greatest example of a father, in Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10, he says, fear not, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. I will uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness. So support builds courage and resilience to help a child keep going. This is important to them. But sometimes they also need somebody who pushes them forward. That's me, I'm a pusher. Right? Number 7 is encouragement. This is giving the kid words to motivate them and to grow their belief in their own potential. Now, every child is gonna fail, but encouragement is what helps the child overcome that failure. It's saying things like, hey, I noticed you improving. You're getting better. Keep going. I believe you can do it. I know you can do it. I know you can go faster. I know you can do this. It doesn't ignore their mistakes. It just reminds them that they're bigger than their mistakes. If kids don't receive encouragement, they grow up to become adults who may struggle with perfectionism, and they may have difficulty accepting their own mistakes. You might have a boss or a coworker who's like this. In 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 11, it says, "Therefore, comfort yourselves together and edify one another, just as you have been doing." Encouragement plants a belief in a child's mind, and that changes everything. But even the strongest encouragement won't prevent those painful moments. And when those moments come, children need number 6, comfort. Comfort is sitting with someone in pain and acknowledging their emotions, not fixing it, not dismissing it, just understanding it. It creates emotional safety. It says, I see you're upset. Hey, that must have hurt. You want to come talk to me about it? Comfort teaches kids that their emotions are safe to express. But if kids don't receive comfort, they become adults who may express negative emotions through passive-aggressive behavior instead of through direct means or healthy means. In 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 3 and 4, it says, "Blessed be God, even the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies, and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all of our tribulation, that we might be able to comfort them who are in any trouble by the comfort we ourselves are confident of God." That's a lot of comfort. So when children know someone will comfort them during pain, they begin to feel something a little bit deeper. They feel stability. They feel safety. They feel number 5, which is security. Security is feeling safe, stable, and protected. It's when promises are kept. It's when rules are consistent. It's communicating to the child that although the world may be chaotic, home is going to be safe. This consistency and calm leadership creates security. But if a child doesn't receive security, they become adults who may develop cynicism as their way of life. They resist structure and they struggle to adjust to routines, no matter how healthy it is for them. In Psalm 46, verse 1, it says, "God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble." God offers security to us, and we should offer this to our kids, because once children feel safe, they're ready to hear words that shape their identity. That brings us to number 4, affirmation. You've heard of this before. Affirmation is recognizing and affirming a child's character, not just what they do. It's saying things like, "Oh, you are so thoughtful. You're so creative." This is what helps shape their identity and their self-image. But if they don't receive affirmation as kids, they become adults who may struggle with self-identity and depend heavily on external validation. To instruct us on affirming, Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29 says, "Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, except that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace to those who hear it." So affirmation becomes the voice that children hear and that they carry in their minds for the rest of their lives. But before affirmation can happen, something else got to come first. You have to truly see someone. That takes us on to number 3, attention. Attention is giving your full focus, your time, and your presence. No phone, no distractions, no looking down. Are they talking? You're like, I'm listening. Yep, I'm listening. That's not attention. Example is just playing with them, listening to their stories. It communicates to every child that you're important enough for my time. My daughter just did this the other day. Less than 10 minutes after I put her in bed, she came downstairs. I said, "What are you doing downstairs?" And she said, "I had a bad dream already." So instead of me, dismissing, I said, "You had a bad dream. Come here, come tell me about it." So she's telling me about the dream and I'm asking questions. I said, "Oh, dang, I turned into a werewolf?" What happened next? And then what? So she tells me the whole dream. And then after that, she's ready to go back to sleep. Doesn't matter if I believe the dream or not. It's that I'm giving her my attention because I think she's important enough for my time. And on the topic of listening, James chapter 1, verse 19 says, "Therefore, my beloved brothers, let every man be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to become angry." So being heard is one of the deepest human needs. Attention tells a child that they matter. Now there's another need that makes this love feel real. That takes us to number 2, affection. Affection is love expressed through actions, physical closeness, hugging, high-fiving, patting on the back, or just sitting with them. This reinforces emotional connection and creates warmth and closeness. And if the kid does not have their affection met, They may become adults who shut down emotionally, who avoid conflict, and they adopt a trust no one mentality because they think they're going to get rejected. In 1 John chapter 3, verse 18, it says, "My little children, let us not love in word or talk, but in deed and in truth." Loving in deed, that is action. Loving in action is affection. Affection reassures children that the love is real, but I think this next one is arguably the foundation of everything else. Number one is acceptance. This is being loved for who you are, not based on your change, not based on how you succeed, not based on when you become something else, as you are. An example of doing that is celebrating our kids' personality or their interests or their uniqueness. It's telling them that you belong. This is the foundation for their identity development and their belonging. And if we don't give our kids this need, they become adults who attach their identity to whatever gives them the quickest positive feeling, constantly searching for belonging. Now, in Romans chapter 15, verse 7, it says, "Therefore, receive one another as Christ also received us to the glory of God." This is acceptance, the way that God receives us as we are. Acceptance frees children to become who they were created to be. And on this note, I want to free you guys. If you have kids, you are not the architect for them. You are the shepherd. God is the architect. My wife and I spent quite a few years looking at our kids' personality and wondering, which one of us did they get that from? Neither one, because we aren't the architect. Every child carries these 10 emotional needs. And understanding these needs helps us to stop repeating the dad deficit and to start giving our children what they need. When we understand them, we can begin to give them to other people and possibly heal parts of ourselves. So no more excuse of, I can only give my kids what my dad gave me. But which one of these emotional needs do you think is the most important for a child? What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. And if this video helps you reflect on your own story, then consider sharing that with us or with someone who needs to hear. Because sometimes understanding your past is the first step to build a healthier future.